Hey guys, what's up? I'm Justin Davis from Drone Camps RC. Welcome back to the channel. We have a special edition today for the Syma X8C Venture. It is new from Litech.com. Thanks a lot, Litech, for sending us this for review. This week is Final Four and it's March Madness, so I'm wearing my Carolina hat. If you guys have a problem with that, hopefully you don't. I'm from North Carolina, so go Tar Heels. We're going to talk about this really quickly before we get into the unboxing. The Venture, the X8C, is super popular out there on the Facebook forums and on the RC forums, and mainly because it's a Phantom style clone. It's almost exactly the same frame as the Phantom, definitely cheaper made, but it's sub $100. It is not a GPS style drone. It is pretty much a trainer drone with a few different modes, flight speeds, and a simple camera that comes with it. It is a 2 megapixel camera that comes on the bottom. It is controlled by 2.4 gigahertz, and this is the non-Wi-Fi version, so there is no video link, downlink on this one for you to see on your monitor. So if you want the Wi-Fi version, there is one of those available. So this one is around $80 on Litech.com. You can see the link down below, so go and check that out if you're looking for something that will eventually carry a GoPro. If you wanted to mod this and add your own gimbal on it for the GoPro, you can do that for a little bit of extra money. You can mount that on the bottom. There's a few mod videos on YouTube right now where guys are doing that. So, and they're also upgrading the motors. It comes with brushed motors, so they're a little less powerful than a brushless, obviously. So if you want it to go faster, you can get an upgrade kit. I believe it's around $130, so a little more expensive than the drone actually costs, but brushless motors will really wake up an aircraft, so it'll give it all that power that you want to fly as fast as you want with those brushless motors. So a lot faster than the brushed. Big difference between brushed and brushless motors. If you guys are just getting into it, brushless motors are about twice the size of a regular brushed motor. Originally we called those can motors, those brushed motors. So keep in mind that the brushed motors are going to be a little cheaper, and they're probably going to run a little hotter than your brushless motors. So let's go ahead now, let's open up the box and let's show you what comes with the X8C Venture. Okay guys, here we go, the unboxing, the really quick unboxing of the X8C. I'm not going to waste too much of your time here. I'm going to grab a razor blade and cut this piece of tape on the back here. Show you what's in the box. First thing is the user manual. It is in English, comes in English. It tells you about all the different flight modes and buttons on your controller. Very important. A few safety issues you want to check out. Okay, so there you can see the X8C frame. Set that box to the side. Let's go ahead and pull out the frame first. Just want to show you how much this looks like a Phantom. I wish I had a Phantom to compare right now, but I don't. Very, very similar to a Phantom. So same size, around the 350 size. There's an on-off switch on the bottom, and there's a little tiny plug here. That's where your gimbal plugs in. It has 4 LEDs front and back. And these are your motor stems on top of the brushed motors. It does have a specific way that the props go on. I could show you that really quickly. If we can zoom in really close, I'll show you that later. I'm going to go ahead and grab the rest of this out of here. It does come with prop guards. So pretty nice. I don't usually fly with prop guards because I feel like it slows the copter down and kind of changes the performance for me. I like it to fly a little quicker. But very lightweight, and those go on by removing this end piece here. They slide in, and you have 2 screws that go from the bottom up into the prop guard, so pretty easy to install those. Just gonna pop those back in there because we're probably not going to use those. Okay, moving on. The next thing in the box, this is your charger. The battery that comes with the Syma is a 2S. I'll go ahead and pop that out of the drone real quick so you can see The connector's on there. And this is a 2S 2000 milliamp. So pretty nice size battery. You're probably going to get about an 8 to 10 minute flight out of the Syma X8C with this battery. It does come with a balance charger, and you plug in your white balance lead here. You plug in this side here and plug it into the AC wall outlet. It takes about an hour to charge. I have another style charger that I can plug this into. It'll charge it a little quicker if you have a standard charger. So we'll flip this over and show you what's in the back. You get 2 sets of props with this, pretty nice. For a lanyard, if you want to fly with a lanyard, a lot of times I like to hook a lanyard on here, have it just resting nice and stable for me while I fly. 2 top buttons. It does have R functional. This top left one is your mode button. That's going to make it more aggressive or less aggressive. So in the first flight mode, I feel like it needs more angle of attack when I'm flying, so I want it to fly more aggressively, so I'll hit that button once and put it into mode 2 to give it a little more angle of attack, and it'll fly a little faster. Button on the right, this is your flip button, so if you push the stick to the right and push the button, it'll flip right, push it forward, and it'll flip forward, back, and to the left. So pretty cool. It does flips as well, and you can see down here there's an LED screen. You won't be able to see it on camera, but it does show you your trims are all in center. If you feel like this drone is drifting to the left or right, you can do a stick calibration on the ground. I believe it was down and out for this one. I might be wrong, but you want to check the manual on that to make totally sure. If it does drift a little bit, you can use your trims to trim it out and make it fly a little smoother. So here's our second set of props, and under here are the landing gear for the drone. So we have 4 legs on this drone, and it does give clearance for this gimbal that's included. This is your 2 megapixel gimbal. It records and plugs in right here, and then just simply slides in, snaps in place from the front to the rear. You can plug in your cable there, and that's all it takes to install the gimbal pretty quickly. And you can pop it off for transport. So it also includes a 4 gigabyte mini SD card. Go ahead and set that to the side. I'll pull out the accessories bags. This is a Euro conversion plug for you guys over in Europe. And these are extra pins for your motors that go above the prop like I was telling you before. And these are caps that will go on top of the props to make it look a little cooler. These have not flown off on me yet. I did get a chance to fly one of these before, and they look like they might fly off, but don't push them down too tight on top of the motors because they'll press against the prop. So you can press them down so they're nice and firmly on the motor stem. We'll set that to the side.
Phantom 4 and the Syma X8C, they are very similar. The Phantom 4 is just a little bit taller, like I explained before. The Phantom landing gear is just a ½ inch larger than the Syma gear. So if you want to raise this Syma X8C up a little bit, you can get some Phantom 2 landing gear and do that, and raise this up to put your GoPro under there with your GoPro gimbal, so that you have proper clearance. Now, you cannot install Phantom 4 landing gear on the Syma X8C. It does not fit, because the new frame has been redesigned on the Phantom 4, and they sit a little wider out forward and backwards. So they're definitely different and will not fit. So make sure you order like Phantom 2 landing gear for your Syma X8C. Now, similarities in prop size. The Phantom 4 props are just a ½ inch larger than the Syma prop. So very, very similar in size. So for the money, this is around $80 for this copter for a nice nice size trainer drone, and you're looking at $13.99 as of the time that this video was made on the Phantom 4. So pretty close and similar in size. I gotta say, like, for this size, great. You're gonna get about 8 minutes flight time with this. This one has around the 23 to 24 minute mark. Might be a little more, I'm not sure. I haven't really looked at the specs on this one too much yet. However, huge price difference for both of these. So definitely pick yourself up a Syma X8C. It's a great trainer. So let's go ahead now, let's go outside and fly the Syma 8XC.
Hey guys, I'm Justin Davis from Drone Camps RC, and we're going to do a quick flight test of the Syma X8C for you. Show you some of the modes and show you what we like about this copter for a trainer drone. If it's one of your first drones, I would recommend grabbing this one after you've flown something smaller first, and then have this as your second trainer on the way up to something larger like a Phantom or a Q500. So this is a good, say, intermediate to medium range drone. Keep it in close in the park, of course, but this one's a good size to it, so you want to make sure that when you fly there's nobody directly under you, because if this one falls it could definitely hurt somebody if it fell on top of them. So let's go ahead, set this one down and turn it on, make sure it's calibrated, and then we'll go ahead and take a flight test for you. So we'll turn on the Syma first. Turn on the transmitter, and when you see the transmitter turn on, they'll blink slower, and once I arm it, the LEDs will go solid. So the way you arm your Syma to get it ready for flight is go ahead and back up just a little bit, give it some space, don't hover right over top of it, throttle stick all the way up, and then throttle stick all the way down. Now you see the LEDs are solid, so you can go ahead and fly. So as soon as I move this stick, I'm gonna get a little bit of throttle. So we're ready to fly. Let's go ahead, we're in mode 1 right now in the speed. So we're gonna come up off the ground into a hover. It's looking good today because it's a little bit overcast, so we can really see the LEDs on the drone. Very stable flyer. The wind's died down just a little bit. We had a front coming through earlier, so it was a little bit windy, and now it's a little less windy. If you want to make sure all your trims are centered, if you look on the middle of this transmitter, you can see where the trim is by digital trim marks on this transmitter, so that's pretty cool. Let's come down a little bit. Let's click into mode 2 here, give it a little more aggressive characteristic. It gives a little more angle, gives it a little more pitch when you're flying, so it'll give you a faster flight characteristic. I kind of like that. Now let's go back into mode 1. See how much slower it is? I'm pushing full forward right now. And it's nice and slow. Nice and slow is not a bad thing because it does great aerial videos if you do slower, smoother movements for your videos. Makes a big difference. Now I'm going to click, actually I'm going to stay into this mode. I'm going to go ahead and start the video for you. So now we should be recording video. Go back up. Let's test out the yaw. I'm going to go into mode 2, a little faster flying. Test out that yaw again.
Seems to be doing pretty good. Not the fastest yaw in the world, but you know, this is kind of a trainer drone, so this is full throttle. Looking pretty good. Okay, now let's go ahead and come down a little bit. They say that this one has about an 80-meter range on it, around an 8-minute flight time. It's not bad for about $80. So I've got to say, this is a great size. It gives you that feeling of Phantom size. Almost exactly the same size as the Phantom, like I showed you guys in the studio. They do give you an extra set of props in the box, which is pretty cool. This one does fly a little more aggressive than smaller ones that we've flown previously for Banggood and Litech. This one is from our friends over at litech.com, so you can check those out in the link below. It's getting a little darker on us now, and I can still really see this copter in the air. Pretty cool. Let's give it a full throttle bump, go straight up. Not too bad. Now this one doesn't have any GPS assistance, so if I let go of the sticks, it's going to drift with the wind. So you want to be ready to counteract the direction that it's drifting. So if it's a little bit windy, you're really going to have to push into the wind a lot to fight into the wind. It's going to be a little bit of a fight with this one. You don't want to fly this one in a lot of wind. If it's over 10 miles an hour, I would suggest not flying this in over 10 miles an hour. I do want to try this out on 3S. I don't know if any of you guys have tried it yet, but I definitely want to see what this one's going to do on 3S. I know there should be a voltage protection on this to keep it from frying itself if we get too much voltage to the board. However, that's yet to be determined. I'll find out because I'm going to do it for sure. It makes a huge difference from 3S going up to 3S from 2S. It's like mild to wild. So there's a little more wind now, but I'm still in this mode 2 flying around. Now, as far as video goes on this copter, it's not going to give you the most stable video you've ever seen. It's just pretty much for playing around. This isn't something for professional aerial photography or somebody trying to start a business. This is purely for fun. And the fun side of this is that it didn't cost $1,400 like the Phantom 4 does. This one does have a higher age bracket on it. It does say like 18 and up. I don't know if that's because of the size of it. But if you fly this with your kid, make sure you're with them. They want some parental assistance with this. A pretty good gust just came through. It's directly head on into the drone, so I'm trying to decrease my altitude, descend a little bit, get lower. If it gets really windy, the best thing to do is start to bring your drone down and back to you. If you have a gust or a front coming in, bring it back to you and try to get it back on the ground as quickly as possible. Because if you have a front coming through and it's going to rain, you're definitely going to have, you could have up to a 40 to 50 mile an hour wind coming in behind you. So best to be back on the ground and safely landing before the high winds start. So that's a pretty good flyer. I'd like to test out some of the other modes later, but for now that's going to be it. I'm Justin Davis from Drone Camps RC. Thanks for hanging out and flying with us today. That was awesome. Putting up a little bit of windy conditions, but the Syma X8C handled it no problem. So pick one of those up on our friend's website. You see the link down below. Thanks for hanging out again. We'll see you on the next one.